serve their wife and serve the Lord. They can, be rich, or what the nigga say, I don't want to be broke and woke. Yep. You got to pick, you got to choose. And that time is going to come when the hour of temptation comes amongst the whole world, where Jake is going to have to choose, hell, life or death. You're going to serve this devil, this beast, this system, or you're going to serve Yahweh Shem Shah. It's that simple. It's that cut and dry. It ain't no maybes. Well, the Lord wants your full alliance. He wants your full attention, or he ain't fucking with you.
Yeah, another one is one of wicked ass Israelites said, you can get the chip, but when the Lord comes back, you can take it out. That was the explanation. Bug out nigga said, man.
When is a bug that said that?
Yep, that's what I call him, bug that nigga.
When our temptation comes, it's really gonna prove who's really of the flesh versus who's of the spirit. If you've been in your flesh this whole time and you didn't mortify your members, you're definitely gonna cave in and take that chip.
Yeah, and that's why all the excuses we got in 2020, people that took the JEB, was all carnal excuses.
Yeah, they chose their flesh.
And particularly money, my job. What about my job?
Provision. It was about provision.
Yep.
They don't trust. Our people don't trust the Most High enough that He can give them provision without depending on the devil. Mm-hmm. That's why Isaiah 31, or was it Isaiah 30 or Isaiah 31? Woe to you that go down to Egypt for help. That walk down to Egypt, and ask not at my mouth.
Stay upon horses. There are many.
Yeah, man.
We trust in horsemen.
Yeah. Our people don't trust in the Most High's provision. It tells you that in Psalms 55? Cast thy burden upon the Lord, and He shall sustain thee. And that's and you putting your trust in Him. That's a spiritual matter. It's spiritual. If you carnal, the Most High He ain't even in your thoughts, man. Because you thinking about a quick way to satisfy your body. Yeah, man. So that's what it's gonna boil down to. The spirit versus the flesh. That's why you gotta work on yourself now before we get to that time of that hour of temptation. Fight your flesh. And hey, like Paul said, he talks about getting the mastery. He also said, I will not be brought under the power of.
You gotta read it back you up. Yep. Colossians 3:5. Mortify therefore your members which are upon the earth: fornication, uncleanness, inordinate affection, evil concupiscence, and covetousness, which is idolatry. So mortify meaning to cut off. All your fleshly desires, because everything that you love, if you love this world and everything that you love in this world, will be attached to that MOTB.
You'll be you'll be a slave to it.
Yeah.
That's why we're rehearsing.
And remember the definition of charagma. One of them was the badge of the servitude of the anti-Messiah, which is really the system, the beast system. That's a badge of servitude. So basically, you're going back to like that definition I read about serving mammon. Well, you got to serve the beast now to serve mammon. In this world.
Just showing you that these idols are tied together against the spirit of Yahweh. He's the one only holy, but they're all tied to each other.
It's an idolatrous principle to it all.
Yep.
You might think that you're doing it for the money, but it's way deeper.
I love the Most High, so I want to have this money so I can be able to. Nah, just the Most High will solve it all.
Right. Hey. You think that you're gonna go without food and water and raiment?
Yeah.
Well, the Most High, He clothed the lilies.
Yeah.
think
he
you're
made
gonna
miracles happen to feed individuals. Elijah got ravens bringing him food. He teleported Habakkuk over to feed Daniel and the lions den. Like,
Fed Elijah in the desert
Yep.
when he was starving.
I was gonna say also with Elijah, the ravens fed him twice a day, and then after that, when he was brought before that woman, the oil of the cruse and the flour didn't waste. You know, so they ate for
Hell.
they ate for a season.
Look at the children of Israel when they came out of Egypt. You know, the manna,
The quail.
the quail. You know, and it was the Lord sustained it. It didn't go bad. Hell, their shoes, clothes, garments.
and that was wisdom that was being passed to them to understand. I segue that to the brother to hit this with Solomon, the difference of why wisdom was more important than physical money.
1 Kings 3 and verse 9. Give therefore, or should I start that?
No, you do. Oh, if you want to. Yeah. I mean, that hits the point, though.
It says, give therefore thy servant an understanding heart.
Which we should basically understand what it's going into when he asked for what he wanted. You see that part? It should be on the verses up above. But he gets to what he actually asked for. You can read it from here.
It says, give therefore thy servant an understanding heart to judge thy people, that I may discern between good and bad. For who is able to judge this?
That's what we're rehearsing now. So when it comes to the beast, that you're gonna make the right judgment, even if it's a self-sacrifice involved. You know, that you're gonna make a wise decision, not only for yourself, but for the ministry itself. That the image in the that the ministry be not blamed. That who we're called to be ambassadors for isn't charged with evil. That they have to come falsely against us, not for any being a murderer or a thief or any of those other carnal things. You know, in that day, hey, when there's no food, the brothers, used to meditate or think about. In that day, man, I gotta go and I gotta wrestle somebody for food. That's really wrestling for the food the Most High gave you.
Yeah.
More than going to take from your neighbor. You gotta have that mindset. Now, if it come down and y'all at the grocery store, grabbing the last something off the shelf, you may have to knock the nigga out and take it and run or whatever. But I'm just simply saying, you can't be thinking that. You gotta be like, you gotta be spiritual about it.
Yeah.
Or be like, hey man, let's then break him half and take off once you take it from him. Or give him a piece and then bounce. Just so to keep the, because you didn't have to do that.
Yeah. To prevent any type of physical conflict.
Yeah.
Like, hey man, here man.
Reasonable.
Here, I got it first, man, but here, go ahead, man.
Exactly.
And he may accept that versus you saying, nah, nigga, it's mine.
Then he gonna take something else and prevent somebody to stall you to escape clean. You don't know how the Most High can weave it all.
You could be giving it to an angel.
Bro, that's gonna protect you somewhere, 2 days later or whatever. You got it out.
You can have a situation where you got gold and silver or whatever kind of bartering items stored up, but it's too dangerous for you to be bartering. Ain't nobody trying to trade, But you may have that wisdom to where you can decipher different plants and different things. The Lord can put that wisdom in your mind to know what's edible and what can sustain you for the time being.
Right.
But going back, it says, for who is able to judge this thy so great a people? And the speech pleased the Lord Yahweh that Solomon had asked this thing. And the Most High said unto him, because thou hast asked this thing, and hast not asked for thyself long life, neither hast asked riches for thyself, nor hast asked the life of thine enemies.
That's the difference. Because those are the things we were talking about. What was that movie we were talking about? Bruce Almighty. I always bring it up. Talking about this. He got the power of God in that movie, and he started blessing himself. Revenging himself against the essays in the alley. Tried to go get his woman back. Then went got his job back. Made himself look good. Got himself a new car. And then Morgan Freeman was like, hey, we played God. He was like, hey, you have my power for a little over a week. How many people have you helped with it? So you gotta consider how this is used through the power of Yahweh B'Shem Shai when you get riches, power, whatever. We were talking about it. The brother read in Ecclesiastes 5. The more riches increase, the more mouths, more the need increases. I forgot how it's worded exactly. Right. Yeah, exactly. There's others that is going to help take care of. You got to consider that possibility of it. But wisdom will keep that on your mind.
The conversation we had with the brothers, I was pretty much saying, if you get the spiritual power, what would be the first thing you would do?
Yeah.
Everybody
talking about, oh, I can't wait to be strong and all of this. But hey, the one elder brother was like, it was a diamond from Boston. He was like, nah, I want the power to heal. He wasn't even thinking about himself. That's the type of mind that the Most High had. That's why the same mentality Solomon had right here. Same with Yahweh Shai. He was thinking about others. He had all power, but he knew he had to go through the whole process for everybody to be blessed. You got it, huh?
You got a saying in the world, you know, with great power comes great responsibility. And that goes back to the scriptures, man. You know, but before honor is humility. That's something that's relevant. It says, verse 11, and the Most High said unto him, because thou hast asked this thing, and hast not asked for thyself long life, neither hast asked for riches for thyself, nor hast asked for the life of thine enemies, but hast asked for thyself understanding to discern judgment. Behold, I have done according to thy word. Lo, I have given thee a wise and an understanding heart, so that there was none like thee before thee, neither after thee shall any arise like unto thee. And I have also given thee that which thou hast not asked, both riches and honor, so that there shall not be any kings like any among the kings like unto thee all thy days.
Jump over to the other, unless you got more. And then I was thinking about brother said, you don't know, when he read it in Ecclesiastes 2, you don't know who these things will be left to because you perished that night. It goes right into that. Well, if you was using wisdom the whole way, the people that were left, you would have had that set up. You'd have been raising them to. I thought about the analogy a moment ago. Also, I caught a piece of that movie, Wolf of Wall Street, and he said he went to this company and selling penny stocks. For y'all that seen the movie, right? He's selling penny stocks, and he taught them how to hustle the penny stocks. But he was like, "Hey, but I'm able to hustle millions from people. What if I taught everybody in here to do that?" And he built this whole company up because he taught the core people how to sell like that.
How to finesse it.
Yeah, how to finesse is what it really was. But
Yeah.
he taught them that. So that's what you're supposed to be doing, passing it on to people that are worthy to hold the mantle and to teach others also, right? As it says in 2 Timothy, the 2nd chapter. You get this wisdom. You got it out.
There's Wisdom of Solomon 7:7. Wherefore I prayed, and understanding was given me. I called upon the Most High, and the spirit of wisdom came to me. I preferred her before scepters and thrones, and esteemed riches nothing in comparison to her.
This is why these scriptures are written aforetime, so you can pick these things up and put that mind in you. Okay, so you can learn to start thinking outside the box, not like every capitalistic nigga walking around thinking strictly about self. So you can see the bigger picture and understand what has to happen. Sometimes you gotta step in and take the lead. Sometimes you gotta fall back and let others get out the way. You know, sometimes that's what it takes. But you thinking about the bigger picture now, you can help control it through the will of the Heavenly Father. You got it right.
Neither compared I unto,
At least see it. You know, maybe you ain't in control of, we ain't in control of nothing, but we can see it. So forgive me for saying it that wrong way.
Neither compared I unto her any precious stone, because all gold in respect of her is as a little sand, and silver shall be counted as clay before her.
Yep, perfect. Yep.
I loved her above all health and beauty, and chose to have her instead of light. For the light that cometh from her neither goeth out. Excuse me, never goeth out.
And it said, all gold is as sand unto her, and silver is regarded as clay. And when you go into basically how King Solomon was increased during the time of Queen of Sheba, it said he was getting 25 tons of gold a year. So when you receiving increase like that of that particular element, it is nothing to you.
Yeah.
You know,
It's not precious anymore. When it's
exactly
when it's an abundance of it, it's no longer precious.
That's why it's always rich people telling you that money's not all, it's not everything.
But them same people won't want to be broke either.
Yeah, they ain't gonna let go of it.
Yeah. But he had the mentality like, okay, I didn't try everything. Now what's the real meaning? And that's what all people, Jake really, all really want riches
end
for
up-
it so they can find what the real meaning of life is.
You end up not being totally fulfilled.
Yep.
Once you then got you
All
got
the
it
sexual
all.
desires out the way,
Yeah,
you tried all
it's
the
it's no
fun.
longer satisfactory or fulfilling anymore.
Yep.
So you try to go and look for extra outside of the fact, you know. You try to go the extra mile, and that's what ends up happening, man.
Yeah, that's why it's given the hierarchy of 1 Corinthians 11, where you know, our purpose is supposed to be towards Yahweh Shai,
Con.
to Yahweh.
And if you think about it, how the scriptures say wisdom is a defense and money is a defense. Both of those are useful, you know, especially wisdom. But in this current world, it gives you so much gratification, so to speak, because you can have, you know, the money and the things that, you know, you can have that riches that'll give you more access to things in this world. You can have that wisdom, but you have a lot of wisdom. Like the scriptures say, with more wisdom comes more grief.
Yeah.
But when we get in our perfection, that's when that wisdom is going to allow us to flourish in the earth, man.
We know how to apply it.
Back in Wisdom of Solomon 7 and verse 11. All good things together came to me with her, and innumerable riches in her hands. And I rejoiced in them all, because wisdom goeth before them. And I knew not that she was the mother of them.
And in that same movie, Wolf of Wall Street, he was hustling people that had money, you know, a little abundance, a little pocket of money. He was trying to figure out how do I, like they didn't have the wisdom to know where they should put the money. Well, wisdom in the Most High, He'll show you. Now put it right there. Put that there and watch that flourish. You know this is happening. Put it right there. Now watch that flourish. Okay, that's where the riches is at. Somebody told you these are the lotto numbers. Okay, well when do I play? You still need to know something. But the Most High through wisdom will give you all those different things. He'll give you how much, put this down on this date at this time with these numbers or what. I'm just using it as an analogy. You know, but so you can actually flourish the way He wants you to flourish, versus trying to win carnally and trying to do your own thing. Okay, that's why this wisdom, this knowledge and understanding of this truth is what's the most precious thing on the earth right now. You got a little more?
Yeah, verse 14 or 13. It says, I learned diligently and do communicate her liberally. I do not hide her riches.
Happy to share and bestow them on those that are like-minded. There's another scripture I'm trying to think. I think Paul wrote it.
By
Huh?
the truth 79.
No, it was another
That's
one.
Proverbs.
There was one that was talking about that's good, but man, I'm trying to think of how it goes. But basically, you want to give this thing away, and now I lost my point on it. But just go ahead and read, bro. But those work. I got it.
It says, for she is a treasure unto men that never faileth, which they that use become friends of the Most High, being commended for the gifts that come from learning.
That's the point. The gifts that come from learning. Meaning Solomon had everything. And what did he end up doing? Studying. Seeking out things. Trying out things. Giving experiments. To see okay, if I do this, what happens? If I do that. If I ask this person that. If I talk to such and such about this, will they do this and that?
That's part of the wisdom triangle, right?
Yep.
Like it's with a Sirach 4.
Works.
She try you by crooked ways, man, to see if she may trust your soul, man. You know, it goes through experiences, trying your character, trying your integrity, trying your reign, so to speak. The Lord can trust you with riches. Could He trust you, you know, over a kingdom of you know, thousands of people? Can He trust you to be just? Could He trust you to not oppress the poor? Could He trust you to, you know, make right decisions when it comes to judgment and not wrest judgment, not give bad advice, you know, to people that are up under you? Those are different things that the Lord tests you for, man. And we finna become a nation of kings and priests. So that's the reason why the scriptures stress wisdom. All right? Because we're gonna judge the next world. We finding out on this side, just like Solomon did, all this shit is vanity. It's all meaningless. Now we understand it all. So when we get into the kingdom, we're gonna already have a thorough understanding of the purpose of all things. So now things can be regulated and managed the right way. All right? The world will even get the chance to understand the true purpose and meaning of things, because we're going to teach it to them. All right? So yeah, man, hey, with that, we're going to give all praise, all glory, and honor to Yahweh. Double honors to the elder apostles and bishops of the great millstone. And as always, peace, blessings, and citation to the elect. Shalom.
Shalom.